Hello guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel once again. So if you can always be patient enough to wait for this kind of setups that we are seeing here on the screen, then there's a very high chance you're making some massive profit in the market. As you can see, this boom 300 index, and we are on the daily time frame. So if you ever want to look for setup that you can get some entries and hold trades for a very long time, then it is best you go for higher time frame to analyze the market. All right, like here I can see a very nice setup on this daily time frame, though the market is not yet ready to start moving in the direction I expect. And what direction is that? Bearish, guys, bearish. Why do I expect the market to sell? Because of these sells. This is a previous nice bearish movement. You can see the market sold from here nicely up to this level, then it started buying. There was a little consolidation which the market finally broke above. There was a zone here. Market finally broke above this zone and started buying, pulled back, started creating higher highs and higher lows. At this point you can see that the whole movement here is made up of higher highs and higher lows, with so many bearish and bullish candlesticks compared to the movement here. Now when we have this kind of movement on the chart, it indicates that the market is not does not have enough energy to really move. You see, it can't move fast. If you compare the number of candlesticks we have right from here down to this level, if you want to count them, this might be, let's say, I can do that by looking at the dates. Let's see. All right, this is 28th of November 2024 up to this 18th of December. You know how many candlesticks? I can't calculate. Let me just leave it, guys. You can do the calculation, but trust me, the number of candlesticks you have there cannot be compared to the number of candlesticks you have from here to here. This one is too much because the market doesn't have enough energy to move easily to get to the top here, as you can see. So at this point, any strong resistance zone is able to change the direction of the market. All right, any strong resistance zone is able to change the direction of the market. So now what you have to do is just put a trend line to guide this movement. Put a trend line, because the market will continue bearish at some point. It will continue in its bearish move. So all you need to do is to place your trend line. You can see how I place that trend line very easily. It's important you know how to draw your trend lines. Then if you put another one on the top of the movement just like this, you can see it forms a channel pattern. And a channel is a reversal pattern, indicating that the market will be reversing. The market will be reversing anytime it gets to a strong zone. All right, now with what we have here, you see the market while moving, it created key levels, and these key levels are the things you have to take note of when the market start reversing. For example, this is a level you have to consider, very very important. Once the market starts breaking out, another level you have to consider is this particular one here too. The market will want to react to this level when it starts when it sells. And another one is here. This is a very strong zone too. You have to look out for it. All right, when the market gets there. But before the market gets there, it might take some time, because this is daily time frame. So it might take weeks or months before the market can get back to those zones. So I'm just telling you what you should expect when the time comes. All right. So now there is another zone right here, guys. There's a zone right here. You can see the market, after buying and breaking above this zone, it got to the trend line. It bought straight to the trend. It got to the trend line and rejected. Came back here and retested this zone. It actually broke out of this zone at this point with this bullish candlestick. Then it bought again back to this trend line, and you see rejected and sold again. Now the market is now buying again from this zone. What are we expecting? Buys or sells? You are confused at this point. So now, to be very sure of what the market will do, you would wait for the market to actually get to this zone nicely. On getting, you need to go down to a lower time frame. Like we see, the market got to this zone and started buying. If you go to a lower time frame, you should see structures that will tell you, okay, the market is going to be buying to the upside. Like maybe you might see a double bottom, you might see a head and an inverse head and shoulders pattern, or some kind of rejections and some candlestick or chart patterns that indicate or maybe in an impulsive correction that indicates that the market will continue buying. All right, so you go down to lower time frame like the 4 hourly time frame, 1 hourly time frame, and even the 15 minutes time frame to find out what the market actually wants to do at that point. Else, if you can just avoid it, it's still good so that you won't make mistakes. Because anytime you look at the chart and you seem to be not too sure of what the market is doing and you are not able to figure out what you can do, then it's best you skip the chart or you wait for the market to do what it wants to do based on a higher time frame. Because right now, what you can see on a higher time frame, there is a zone here, this key level right here. If the market can break and close below this zone, then we'll be seeing some nice sells. That's what it means. If the market can break and close below this zone, we'll be seeing some nice sells. And also, there is a zone too at the top. Because we can see rejections on the daily time frame, meaning that if the market can also break above this zone, we'll see some massive buys too. Then the buys will be limited by this structure right here. I mean, there's a very strong zone around here that can stop the buys, then the market will sell massively. So at this point, we want to see what the market will want to do. There's a chance the market might decide to continue to dance around here, maybe then buy, break above this zone, get to the top, then sells back to this zone, come back to buy again up to this zone, then it sells. At that point, what we'll be having is going to be a kind of a head and shoulders pattern that indicates massive sales. Or the market can just keep buying from here to this zone, then it will sell nicely to maybe somewhere here, then buys again to create a double top, then it continues selling. All right, then one other thing you need to take note of is this. While waiting for the market to give us all this, now if my students know what I'm about to say here now, so just look closely. During the formation of this consolidation here, because the market is actually consolidating, I on this daily time frame we see a very nice opportunity for buys. I took some buy trades here right at this point, and then the problem I had was that the market kept on kicking me out. It hit my stop loss because it was very tight. Then I re-entered, it kicked out. Then at the third time I entered, the market went nicely. And the only thing is that my take profit wasn't too far. You know, this is a daily time frame. My take profit was somewhere around here, and I made some good profit. So if I had held the trade, I would have made more profit. All this was because it was a very busy day for me. I just had to make some money, so to concentrate. My students in the Telegram group, okay, yeah, my students, I mentioned to them what I'm actually having at hand that is actually keeping me away from the chats recently. All right, so actually yesterday was the main event, so everything was done. So you can see the massive buys from here. So, and you can see, and the market got to this zone based on the same thing that made me took some buys here. The market sold. I took this trade. I wish I would be able to do some little editing to so that I can share the result here with you guys. You can see some massive sales right here, massive sales on this now. So instead of waiting for the market to actually do the breakout and the retest, if you understand the concept I am sharing, I used to enter these trades here, you'll see that you'll be trading consolidations like a king. You'll be making some massive profit trading consolidations. Now if we go down to a lower time frame, you see that this was some massive move, guys. If we go down to a lower time frame, let's check maybe the 4 hourly time frame, you see that this was some massive moves, guys. Look at it here, spikes, catching spikes like this up to this level, guys. Then you take the cells nicely up to this level. All right, this is the 4 hourly time frame, and you can see this. So this thing is very simple. So there are candlestick patterns that you need to know, and there are you see support and resistance. I remember once somebody said support and resistance does not work. You need to look for, the way it was sounding as if you need to look for something very sophisticated, you know, all these maybe big names, I don't know how to call it. You know, those are the kind of stuff that works. That support and resistance is too common, it doesn't work, you know. If you do not know support and resistance, it will not work for you. Forget about drawing those lines. You need to, after drawing those lines, if you cannot draw them correctly, it will never work for you. Even when you draw them correctly, if you do not know what to actually look out for when the market gets to a support or resistance zone, it will not still work for you. All right, and if you refuse to even study it, to learn it, when you feel it's too simple, because what so many people think is too simple is what is even making the most profit. because you feel it is too simple. You don't need to even take time to study. You want to you usually get attracted to those big terms, those things that just, you know, the names are just what is really making people feel they should go and learn it. They don't know what they're doing. All right. If you don't want to learn support and resistance, you can just learn something else, you know, like other concepts in trading, and all of them do work, but none of them will work for you if you do not spend time to learn and understand them. You will still skip that same one, go to another one. You know, I remember I started with price action, then later I went, and when I saw smart money concept, I went to learn smart money concept. While I was still learning, it was confusing. Because I blame myself because I wasn't focused. I was looking for ways to make quick money to solve the problems I was facing. So immediately, from one Telegram group, I saw a guy telling him doing sharing setups and profits. He was learning. He was using Falcon trading. I had to pay him to teach me Falcon. So after learning the Falcon, it didn't still work for me. It didn't still work for me because my mind was not made up to learn. I was just interested in making the profit. You know, so it is later, after I've spent so much money, wasted so much money, blown so much accounts, that I decided to sit down to actually learn. So I focused on price action, and I am bringing in some concepts of SMC, some aspects of SMC into my price action. I think it's working very well, guys. All right. So support and resistance is working. It is powerful. If you do not know it, if you don't know how to use it, it means you don't really know anything about price support and resistance. Not just drawing those lines and zones, guys. All right. So this thing is very simple. You can see the profit you can make. Let's say, and you enter the trade at sniper entry. Look at it here. Let's say enter the trade at that point. Then I take my profit somewhere here. This is just $100 with the minimum loss size, which is 1.0. 1.0 requires about $14 in your margin. So if you have a good account size, let's say account size that you can go up to 3, use 3 dot size 3.0, guy, you will make over $300 with just one particular pay in a day. Then let's say you're able to follow up with the sales when it started selling, then you still make similar amount. So this thing is very simple, guys. This thing is very simple. So this is something I'll be sharing in the mentorship that is going to start on Monday. All right, how to take trades at sniper entries and on strategic zones. You know how to take these trades that you reduce losses, trades that you will take, and you know have a confidence level of, let's say, up to maybe 90%. This trade is going well, you know. So those are the kind of things you're going to be learning if you enroll in the mentorship that is starting on Monday. All right, so there is a link in the description of this video. You click that link, it's going to take you to my Telegram channel. When you get to that Telegram channel, you'll find more information about this particular training that is coming up. It's not something you should miss out. I know every trader's dream is to be able to get trades set up that can help them enter trades at sniper entry or with reduced floating losses.